Hello, 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 och kolla här. Hello everyone,
Hello.
and welcome
How?
to yet another episode.
Yeah. Yet another episode of PTVEU.
That is correct.
Wow, you really had a lot of stuff on your screen today.
Yep.
That is some audio stuffs.
Yeah, here you can see how it works
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Some of
So
it.
how are you? So how are you today, Kringlan?
I'm all
Kringle.
good. The Kringles is all. Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
It's all good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm
been.
happy for it.
I've been running around a bit today, doing different small stuff that needed to get done. So I feel slightly productive.
Cool.
Uh,
I received my whiteboard today.
oh yeah,
I am
you
the
told me
only
that.
person I know that owns a whiteboard at home. Now.
That's all good. Thank you so much, Abanezer, for the fruits.
Yes.
Very important.
So
Or
what color whiteboard pens are you using?
I currently have none, but I have ordered red and black.
Didn't you say you spent the all night drawing on your whiteboard? How did you do that?
What?
Without pens?
It's no longer white.
When did I say that I have spent all night? What?
This morning.
I received it. You probably misheard me then. I received it this morning. I have no pens yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the idea of a whiteboard that works. No,
Yep.
whiteboards are great. I think it's a great idea. I am for. I vote for.
Yeah.
European news, that's what we're going to talk about today. We don't have any particular guest. And as normal, we encourage you guys out there who's sitting to watch to derail our conversation, Like maybe you have some news that happened in your country that you would like, the rest of, let's say, Europe to know about. I mean, the whole idea of this is kind of, we have some foundation of piratism, right? But really, there isn't a whole lot of news sources to talk about, the EU as a whole. I mean, a lot of these laws and a lot of things that happens to us actually happen on a European level. But it's horribly underreported by our national media often. So do not feel afraid to derail us. As you probably know, also, you can jump into our Discord, and we're here in the Hangout channel. So actually, if you want to terrorize us with your beautiful voice, it's not harder than jumping in here. Do note, though, that unless you do push to talk...
I am very fast on the mute button. And if you are vulgar or fascist or some other stupid thing, I will ban you instantly.
Yeah, we want to have we love discussions, right? Which means that you kind of have to be respectful,
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with your goddamn freedom of speech.
Yes, freedom of speech does not mean that I have to listen to your bullshit.
Fair.
Yeah. But
yes.
Yeah.
You want to start? Do you have a news?
Yeah, I can start. The Nobel Prize.
Many of them.
2 women have never ever been awarded with the Nobel Prize of Chemistry during the same year. In the 119-year-old history of the prize. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Let me see. For genetic scissors, Emmanuel Carpentier and Jennifer Doudna.
Yeah. For CRISPR.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I kind of have a love-hate relationship to this CRISPR thing. I mean, I love that everybody is... I love that the technology is moving forward, but...
Couldn't it have done so before I was born?
Mom! I was thinking about after I was born.
You should have cut out this stupid DNA. Yeah, there's quite a few different ones that have been given out. I'm particularly happy about Penrose getting the Nobel Prize for his... I mean, he's a remarkable physicist. I think they have all of the ones that have been... It's the hepatitis C, right? And in medicine, I guess. And this is... The black hole is for physics.
Yeah.
Sir Roger Penrose.
Yeah.
but they have made so. I mean, it's incredible. You know, I mean, I obviously love to follow up, particularly on astrophysics and quantum physics, because I'm interested in those fields. But you know, behind all of the chaos that the news cycle brings us, our scientific discoveries during the last 10 years have been incredible. And you know, I think that, you know, if we look back at this from 1,000 years, you know, let's say that things work out, and if we look back at this 1,000 years from now, I think the biggest singular thing that we will say about the beginning of the aughts, right, or the, you know, which it will be then, is the fact that we actually got the standard model down to something that makes sense, and that we have a history of the whole universe. We actually kind of know. It's remarkable. We don't really know how Earth works, you know, but we have a pretty good understanding of where we come from, and that's, you know, that's one of these big questions that has always eluded us, right? And it's strange to see that that's one of the questions that get answered first, in my mind at least. So,
is the answer definitive?
I mean, in science, nothing really is definitive, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you got to be kind of understand the probabilities, and the, you know, it was the age of the universe to talk about. It's they said previous was 13.7 billions, but it's probably more likely 14.x billion years old, right? And again, what does time really mean, and in what way does a factor at those extremely small, you know, at the Big Bang scales? But the story of an expanding universe, and you know how stars are created and how helium works, and you know what happens, you know, the black holes that they're talking about here, and the knowledge that we actually have about them is remarkable. You know, and you know, you can never talk, you know, like, is there going to come up more things? Are there things that are still unsolved? Yes, a lot. But to be able to form a coherent story where all of the pieces actually fit together, you know, the chemistry fits together, then, you know, the quantum physics fits together, the theory of relativity fits together, all of these things fits together with the observations that we have made, you know, and that's remarkable. They actually plug and work together. I mean, it means that in order to replace it with something completely new, that's not likely to happen. If there are parts that are weak and we need to get more knowledge on, for sure, but the general big story is most likely correct, you know, like it's very hard to see it as, you know, it's not like it used to be. There's just so many different things that points towards it. And I mean, it's worth to know, you know, to talk about sometimes, because in all of these wash of bad news, what we have discovered the last few years in you know, in AI, in you know, in so many different fields with computers and this accelerating knowledge is absolutely mind-boggling. And I think as pirates, you know, to a certain degree, we need to drive the politics to understand the future and to work towards the future, and not to constantly stand against it.
Have you seen the new GPS apps that are being worked on currently?
No.
Imagine you're in a new town. You don't know where you are. You just take up your phone like you're taking a picture, and it will draw on the ground on your phone where you should walk. I mean, everybody who's ever walked with a GPS on a phone knows that those fuckers suck. If you have any kind of interference or whatever, suddenly you're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Seriously.
And yeah, these new, I mean, I had a lot of hopes for Google Glasses when they came out, but they didn't work as well, and they looked kind of dumb. But I'm feeling that it's going to be the next step there as well soon. But maybe we should go on to some other news. Do you know who the American Stuart Rhodes is, Christian?
No.
Stuart Rhodes was a relatively unknown libertarian blogger when he, 2009, started the military group Oath Keepers. The Atlantic has made a long report of him and the movement, and they are behind Trump. In one of the documents over the members, there is about 25,000 names. 2/3 of them have a background in military or law enforcement. And after the 17-year-old youngster shot two persons at the protest in Kenosha, Rhodes saluted him like a patriot.
Okay.
Yeah, and when the Trump supporters were killed in Portland the same week, he wrote, "Civil war is here now." Sorry for reading. I'm reading Swedish news and I'm translating them as I'm reading them. Sorry. Yeah. European news is still really, really bad. I don't really know why. Yeah, but that's going to be really interesting. The war in America, because I believe we have a above 10% chance of getting a civil war in America after this election.
Yeah, it's even likely. I mean, I would say it's even likelier than that, specifically given the last presidential debate. I mean, and it's worth to talk. I don't think we're going to watch any outtakes of it. If you haven't seen that already, you should. But to me, the two most shocking thing is that Trump gets a question, which is essentially, will you respect the results of the election? Will you not call out, victory before you are, before it's been confirmed, right? These things. I mean, it takes a couple of days. It does so in all democracies. The thing is, since we are kind of lazy about it, and we trust the system and we trust things, it means that we can normally call it there. Call it earlier. But I mean, his response to it is essentially telling his supporters. He said, telling his supporter that they need to go out and watch. They should go to the polling stations and watch. And then he gets up. He says, "Well, because it's already been proved that they are fake because my supporters were thrown out of watching some local election in Pennsylvania." Which if you are not working with polling, this is direct interference with elections. If you go to a polling booth, stand over people who are supposed to count the votes, to check that they're doing right, that's illegal. I mean, he's straightforwardly telling his supporters to do, to further, fuck up the election. And obviously the thing where he tells Proud Boys and essentially all white supremacists that, just stand by until I call on you, And you can give all sorts of excuses here. And I hear a lot of people getting excuses. There's no excuses for this. It's not hard to denounce violence, period. If you want to be unpartisan, Donald Trump said he denounces all political violence. It's so easy to say, but he can't say it. Right? So it's going to be chaotic. And I mean, you have a fascist leader there who is going to fuck it up. And the question is, is he really going to go all the way? I'm not sure, but you have to remember, even if you think Donald Trump is just a stupid buffoon, whatever it is, he's an extremely clever marketer in my mind. And it's not about him. The people that he surrounds himself with, like Stephen Miller, William Barr, he still contacts the Breitbart dudes. These people that he has around him now, these are white supremacists. They have a history of this. These aren't stupid people. Like, whatever you think of Trump, you should see the people that he has around him in the White House too, and the people that has his ear. Who does he listen to? And Stephen Miller is influential, for instance, and you can Google him and you'll find out pretty easily that, I mean, this is not just your average alt-right dude, right?
No, this is something else.
Yeah, and it's a little bit appalling to see the way that, there's just so many things here. It's going to be a shit show, and there is no way of knowing how it's going to go. And it's really scary, right? That's how I feel about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, end rant.
No.
End rant.
I mean, I just didn't know if you were done or not. So, yeah.
Yeah. God damn it.
Oh shit! I scrolled away from it. Why? Yeah. Let's talk about Belarus. The opposition leader Svetlana Tishanovskaya. I'm just gonna call her Svetlana.
Perfect pronunciation.
Yeah, she real hero. Because since there is an utlämningsavtal in English, Kringlan, help me. Extradition deal.
Yeah, I mean. Yes.
Well,
yes.
There is a deal between Russia and Belarus that if Russia wants a criminal, Belarus will hand it to them. And Svetlana has been wanted by Russia, suspected of crime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Since when? For a long time, or this is? I guess it's just created right now too.
This is created right now, but she has already fled to Lithuania.
Mm.
In August, she fled. And yeah, that's insane. But as a pirate, and from what I know about the situation in Belarus currently, I wish you all the best, Svetlana. Keep fighting the good fight.
I mean, it's such a mess. And
yeah. But aren't they speaking about the last dictator in Europe? Maybe this is not Belarus.
No, they've said that. I mean, I don't think it's been this bad. Essentially, I mean, they've had a sort of pretend democracy for some time, right?
Yeah.
But now they're gone all Russia, essentially. You know, killing political opponents, doing it open, killing people in the streets, all the way, right? And I mean, this is kind of the warning, I think, to a lot of people. I mean, our democracies, even the ones that we have, they're so incredible fragile. You know, like, and the way out of a fascist dictatorship, you know, it's not easy. There's a lot of people who are gonna die. Maybe not. Maybe you're not the first one to die, but you're definitely on the list. Everyone is on the list.
Everyone.
Well, I guess the scary thing is that the Nazis in Germany were elected, no?
Yeah.
Even though that it might have been suspiciously, forcefully done, but they held elections and they were voted in.
Yeah. That's why I keep drawing parallels between the Swedish Democrats and NSDAP.
They're surprisingly similar, actually, when it comes to.
If you look at how they are, I don't want to call it propaganda because I don't feel like the Swedish Democrats are the one behind the propaganda. It's the Swedish Democrats voters that are making the propaganda. Well, the way that they are portraying themselves and the way they are running the political game is very similar to NSDAP.
Yeah, I mean, and it's proven, you know, and I think it behooves us, particularly in Europe, to look back at our history.
It behooves.
It behooves us, young sir, to look at history.
I've never heard that word. You're gonna have to explain that. It behooves.
Let's find. It means we should, or it's important for us, or something like that.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I still that. Behooves. It behooves the house to assure itself that it's a duty or responsibility. It's a responsibility it's our responsibility to look at.
You just can't get away from that blue blood of yours, can you?
No, once a noble, always a noble. That's how it works.
Speaking of Germans, the Germans 2020 seems at least a bit more cautious than the Germans in the 1930s. 1 in 5 Germans plans to avoid travel in autumn or winter. YouGov has made a survey, and about 20% of the Germans are due to COVID not going to travel autumn or winter.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, it's good. I'm not sure
Is it true?
what it. It's true. I know for a fact. This is facts. Facts in the future. I just wanted to read from the chat. Naknet says you can dismantle democracy democratically. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I mean a democracy.
That's the only way I believe you can truly dismantle a democracy. You can expel a democracy via revolution or something like that.
I mean, normally
But,
it's not.
this
is not
to
the way.
dismantle. No, normally it's the military.
I mean, normally, most democracies. If we look at why democracies has ended worldwide, the common denominator tends to be CIA. That tends to be, if democracy is gonna fail, you can be pretty sure CIA was there, unless you're in the West. At least.
Well, the thing is that when we're talking about the CIA like that, I mean, the leakage they had before that they were surveying everybody. I mean, of course CIA is going to be there. CIA is fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, like we talked about before, Bolivia, the coup there now seems to be, this is like, if CIA wasn't involved in that, that would be completely incredible. And I mean, this was politically orchestrated. I mean, and that's kind of the thing. And so I would say that the coup is the normal way. And unfortunately, if you're in somewhere else than in the West, there tends to be outside forces that are creating them. And if you are, I mean, we're lucky in West that at least, the way for us to end it is to vote it out. And I think the thing is, when it comes to democracy, it makes a lot of sense that you should be able to vote democracy out, right?
Before you go further on this, you need to read Surprise, Kill, Vanish. And then we can talk about this.
Nice. So a little book tip there, Surprise, Kill, Vanish. I think this is... is that an old CIA operative who wrote that book?
Yeah, but I just want to say something. That's some fucking bullshit. You gotta read this book, then we can talk about it. Fuck you, man.
I think I understand it more as a telling people to read that book.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, when you have to start your argument with read this book before we can talk, I mean, that's just...
Yeah, okay, fair. You have to put... But there is so many things... it's just incredible wealth of knowledge about what actually has happened and what has transpired. A lot of places.
And speaking of knowledge, Aldenayer, thank you for the dictionary link. Put it in the bookklubben. That looks like one of these links that should be there.
Yeah, it's good. So we can do some behind the scenes searching. Yep. It behooves us, young squire, to check the facts before we speak.
Yeah. Should we go back to Sweden?
Let's go back to Sweden.
Yeah,
I'm already here.
Sweden's government today has announced that the two coalition partners have agreed on what the next step for the new Swedish migration policy will look like. Woo-hoo. And for those of you who's not Swedish, migration policy is extremely big in Sweden since the entry of the Swedish Democrats.
There's essentially only two things we talk about: the number of police and our immigration policy. These are the only two political questions.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And well, basically, the government standing point is that people who move to Sweden and have the right to stay here should get all the help they need to become part of our society. But that those who do not have the right to stay should return, said Deputy Prime Minister and Green Party leader Isabella Lövin, who held a joint press conference. I love that word, joint press conference. With Justice and Migration Minister Morgan Johansson. The two explained that they had agreed to present a bill based on 26 proposal for a new Swedish migration policy, the first step to replace the temporary laws introduced in 2016. Temporary laws.
So can you read what they said again? Wow. Could you read what they said?
The government standing point is that the people who move to Sweden and have the right to stay here should get all the help they need to become a part of our society. But that those who do not have the right to stay should return.
I mean, this is absolutely nonsense. This is how it's always been.
This is, this is truly basic.
I'm dying.
This is just basic.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta read that. I will take that on some Swedish one when we go through everything they've proposed here. Because I mean, I am so sick and tired of that. And I know that, I mean, this is not unique for Sweden. It's absolutely nonsense. This means nothing. This is how it's always has been. And the fact is that, you know, the reality is that you can't just send people home. I mean, this is why our prisons are full in Sweden.
Yeah.
You know, that's not how it works, you know?
Yeah. Or Jimmy Åkesson, the leader of the...
yeah, so I'm gonna acknowledge that there was a lag where you went... I'm gonna go back and watch it later. You said like, it was like... Bop, 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 bop. That's a funky Discord lag on your voice.
I'm funky.
Yeah, funky. I hope it happens again.
Jimmy Åkesson, the leader of the Swedish Democrats, he was not late on the critique of this deal. But I haven't seen the complete deal yet. I've had a lot of shit to do today. But like Kringlan says, we're gonna have a look at it. But Jimmy has basically wrote on Twitter, this means war. In the Riksdag and upcoming valrörelse election campaign, Social Democrats shall not get away with this betrayal.
Oh my God. Swedish politics.
I mean,
fucking
seriously.
You know what? Let me read some positive news. Are you ready for this? I have 2 positive news stories. I'm hearing an echo though from myself, which is annoying. But
I can only hear you once. Have you forgot to mute the stream?
No. What? No, no. I can't hear the stream. I think it's, you know, the same bug we used to have sometimes. When you're talking, if you start talking now when I'm talking, yeah, I'm gonna hear an echo. But it doesn't matter. Look at this shit. Oh wait, let me stream to you guys in the.
Could be me.
No, I recognize this one. I think. Here we go. Look at this. Where are the world's most innovative economies? Every year Bloomberg releases its innovation index. I do not trust Bloomberg. I do not know how they get this data. I am very skeptical, but I'm still going to take this as some form of news. And apparently they count the patent activity, which is, you know, okay. R&D intensity. I have no idea how they measure this. Tertiary efficiency, manufacturing value added. I guess you could measure this, but if you are measuring manufacturing value added, you're gonna get the Western countries way above where they should be. Productivity, I have no idea how they meant it. High tech density, this would boost Sweden, for instance. Research and concentration, right? Whatever. But let's look here, because I mean, we are seeing, let's just say from a European point of view, is very good news. Where with Sweden, you know, UK, Belgium, Netherlands, Norway, Ireland, France, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Finland. I'm not sure what I said here already, but at least there's 10 European countries in the top 20, with Germany being number 1, which is quite incredible, passing South Korea for the first time in a long time. Sweden has made its journeys back up, you know, has been second a couple of years, and is now back on 5th place. The reality, I gotta say, and we can talk a little bit about the financial reality of doing innovation in Europe, because it's a lot of it. It's not really true. But you have Switzerland up high as well. Denmark, Finland, you know, doing good. France doing good. US is hovering around 8-9 for the last few years. But yeah, I mean, good news for Europe, no matter what, right? I mean, no matter what they're measuring, I'm sure it has something to use. And I can tell you the problem about the Swedish economy, and I think, you know, this is important because we're seeing so many, you know, like, again,
Can you
Yeah.
say that we are richer than Israel then?
No, you couldn't. You could say that there is a lot of innovation going on according to these metrics, right? Where some of them are gonna, per definition, push us very high in those indices, right? Which may not really have anything to do with how innovative are. The reality of most markets, you could put it like this. Sweden, specifically Stockholm, is a great hub. I mean, it's a super good tech hub. If you're going to start a tech company, I would say Stockholm. London used to be. We'll see. Probably not anymore. But Stockholm, New York, the California, and even Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and the Pearl River. These are 3 places where 4 places around the world where you will have some form of office, where you actually have a lot of knowledge in these areas. You have the leading people in these areas, and they will travel amongst these places, and they are important, and it's kind of special in a way that Stockholm has earned that place. The issue is often that this innovation that we're talking about isn't really real innovation, and it doesn't really lead to any new jobs. And I think this is very important. The innovation that we are seeing today, comes mainly from automation. When we are inventing something new, it is generally to make your life easier, but also to remove employees. This is what the innovation is about. And in Sweden, the innovation that you're typically seeing or having is an innovation where the whole goal is not for you to start your own business and owning it and and becoming, one of these, exchanging the ultra rich on top because you are now starting to take over the world. The whole role is to get to that glass ceiling that you cannot go above and sell your company off and make an exit. This, that's how it's done. And if your company is big and powerful enough and you've been able to push it, you can reclaim some ownership and make a jump over into the kind of pure investor class. But it's no longer, and hasn't been for a long time. Our whole ecosystem is geared towards minimum employment, maximum investor savvy, getting a really quick idea and making an exit. And this is not a sustainable business way. And we need to know that when we're looking at things such as the stock market, when we're looking at inflation, when we're looking at these very weird metrics that a lot of people likes to show us, this does not translate to a functioning market for all of us. Now, I can sit on board meetings and masturbate over these statistics with everyone else. But the reality is that this is very specific type of people who can get employed in these worlds, and the majority of the labor will be done in India, it will be done in China, it will be done somewhere else. Because we cannot afford to have it local. And the whole point of the businesses is to take your job away. That's what you make money on. So I just want us to be aware of this. Now I'm being really hard here, right? Because obviously there's a lot of great ideas here, and there's a lot of innovation, and there's lots that isn't really about this. But I can tell you that automation, that's where it's at. And getting your data, that's where it's at. Giving you a product that you don't have to pay for so we can harvest your data. So that we can sell you more things. So that we can track your journey through this cycle. So that we can bind you to our will, right? This is what it is about. Now, we don't use those terms like will you. I mean, you're the one who chooses your products, right? That's what we say. I mean, there are more products on the market, but the reality is everyone, we know that we're building an ecosystem, with huge companies such as Amazon and the tech infrastructure that is incredibly addictive, right? And that is gamified to the absolute max, where all of the knowledge that we have in neurobiology, in marketing, in AI, in all of these things will come together. That's the point. Now, and are there going to be people who leverage that outside of the technical sphere to make you vote the way they want you to vote? Yes. I mean, it's a power game. And unfortunately, a lot of people play power games like Game of Thrones. You're going to have I always say this, right? You have these people who, Otto, when we were kids, and you were walking and you were in the first grade or whatever, you were 7, 8, 9 years, and you started meeting all of these people and you had your first fights, right? And you were a kid, so you didn't know how to react. So you started a fight and there was like this little wrestling match. And then all of a sudden someone understood that you can kick someone in the balls and it ends the fight right away, right? Yeah, I'm making an exaggeration. Actually, we were too young to feel that back then. But let's say someone found out that you could drag someone in the hair, right? And all of a sudden, everyone is dragging each other in the hair. Because you figure out that's the most painful way, right? And unfortunately, when the way that we are structuring our data and what we're measuring today is optimized towards looking at what generates maximum profit. And what generates maximum profit isn't the best product. It isn't a lot of research and development. It isn't any of that. What generates most profit is different from obviously from market to market, but generally it's to lower and take away workers, right? Make sure that you automate as many things as possible. And it is to have deals with similar companies your size to control a market and then not do any R&D. Innovation isn't a part of business philosophy. That's not a part that makes profit. That's just scary. You wanna, if you're owning a market, you don't want innovation, you want status quo. You want good deals with the other ones that control the market. You want entrenchment, you want lobbyism, you want all of that. Innovation is time-consuming and annoying. You want to control the market. I mean, this is the root of capitalism. And we need to be honest with that. That's my only thing here. I'm really ranting here. Sorry about that. But I want us to be aware. I mean, this is good news, and we shouldn't, say that. But often, what we today mean with innovation is automation, and this is not good for most of the people that think that they need a job. Unless you have an education in computer sciences at a good university, none of this is really for you.
Nope. But yeah, should we maybe move our monocle over to?
I like that. Raccoon's monocle. I have another. Can I take another good news? Or wait, you take news. I'll get back to that.
The thing is that I was just about to go over to America, so you keep doing your boo-boo, and when you are done, we'll be going over to America.
All right.
I haven't got any more news today.
No, I want to go back to. I want to stay in Europe then, and we can jump back to. Because I saw this. Yeah. A large crowd, you can see this, has gathered outside the court ahead of verdict in Golden Dawn trial. Protesters chanting "Nazis in jail," the people demanded. We haven't talked about this, but the Golden Dawn, which is a political, this is pure white power kind of shit, right? But actually, Greek court finds Golden Dawn party guilty of running criminal organization. Historic decisions. So they have been killing people. They've been doing really shitty things. I mean, this is like, this is Boogaloo Boys on steroids to a certain extent. But I mean, they're kind of there. But they have finally, and at least been convicted as criminal, and it's incredibly important. Now, I'm not for criminalizing organizations. I want to be very clear on this. And this is not really criminalizing an organization. You should still be able to say that someone is found guilty of running criminal organization, right? But there needs to be a great distinction between these two. And today, that distinction is getting less and less and less. But good news. I mean, I'm considering this good news at least. Anyone else here? Henning is upset. His friends down in Greece are going to be jailed.
Greece?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say things that I can't take back.
Exactly. I do not disclose any information of my clients. I have moved their money to secure.
I have small to little sympathy for people in Greece.
Okay, well, that's harsh. Well, I suppose for you who don't know Henning here, he is let's just say
It's not to be named.
he's not to be named. I'm sorry.
You have the name in Discord.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're
Change your Discord name if you want us to.
not to be named.
Well, it sounded like Kringle would go further than my first name.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
No. We're
Never.
talking by our first name.
But I was about to say that you're truly I mean, out of the people that sit here, you're the one who have been living in most different places in Europe. I would say you're a pan-European in many ways.
I have capitalized greatly from being part of the EU.
Yes, he is one of the winners. Much like I am one of the losers. Henning is one of the winners. You goddamn asshole. No, I think, the reality is a lot of us are winners on what we have done together. And I think for a lot of people, I don't even know that I mean, I've been traveling in many places and I have, girlfriend who is struggling to come to Europe. But, it's just the fact that we can travel and work in different parts of Europe is huge. All right. Now, there's a lot of things that needs to be fixed, but we shouldn't forget. Let's just say, what I'm really worried about, if USA collapses, historically, through, if we look back, again, it behooves us to look at the history. Right now, we have made it so that we're hosting our proxy wars. We're doing that in Middle East. But Europe really is the place for the wars. This is the ground. This is a perfect spot. We need to stay united. We are not strong when you compare us, every single country here. And we have so much history with each other that could easily be made into pain again. And is being made into pain again. It's very easy to separate us in Europe. And that's exactly what's going to happen unless we unite. There are so many powerful interests that would like us to send our natural resources to them directly or, whatnot, right? And we're doing it to ourselves, and it's really painful. But whatever we can do to stay united, we're going to have to do it. And the European Union is worthwhile fighting for just that one thing. Anyway, Otto, you take yours away before I rant on here.
I have some news. Actually, speaking of news, Henning sent me an interesting photo which was removed from Instagram now, but I have found the information nonetheless.
Very good. Very good searching.
I know that you know what OnlyFans is.
Oh, yes, that's what you and me should do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
When we get 2,000 followers, me and Otto will start an OnlyFans.
No, we won't.
Studio OnlyFans.
Ain't happening.
We will. Okay, it won't be sexual, but I can tell you, we will be in our underwear. Did you say underwear?
I take pride in that I have never sent a dick pic.
You have sent a dick pic to our Discord. Don't lie.
It was.
It was a pic.
It was a pic that somebody had, a guitar pic.
It's a plectrum that someone wrote dick on. So yeah, but it's, technically a dick pic.
Yeah. Well.
But you know what we could set up? We could set up OnlyFans where we do
this. No, please, for God's sake, I can't do this. Just listen.
All right.
You know what OnlyFans is?
Yes.
The one who's currently making the most money per month on OnlyFans. The number is in pounds. Can you guess how many pounds a month she is making?
Allegedly,
of course.
Oh my God! $1 million? A million?
A month? Are you sure $1 million?
Wouldn't surprise me. Jesus Christ! I mean, some people pay insane amounts.
What if I would told you that Black China is allegedly making 15,418,000 pounds a month?
15 million.
15 million pounds a month.
Is that her account name?
The Black China is a music artist.
Okay. Okay, you lost me. No, I mean, I'm gonna.
one second, Kringle. I'm gonna send you the news on Discord,
Yeah, okay,
and then
that's
we can
Yeah.
go through the list.
Let's look together.
This is an insane. These numbers are
They're mind-blowing.
ridiculous.
But I mean, this is not something new. Let's see.
Go down. Then view gallery. Number 1 is Black China, $15 million, and then there's Bella Thorne, £9 million a month.
But this is not. Is this only? This is on their OnlyFans.
Yes, this is
Only.
OnlyFans.
Wow. Fuck me.
Yeah, they'll probably pay for it.
Otto, we're starting one.
No, we're not, because we don't look like Mia Khalifa or Pia Mia.
No, but you know, like we need. I'm calling. We look a little bit like
What?
Safari Samuels. Right?
No, we don't, but you do.
Yeah, right. He seems short. God damn it, he has huge shoes though.
Yes. We can fake that, man.
We faked that. Shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, banana.
So, but we are starting an OnlyFans, but it's only Kringlan we're going to be showing on it.
Yeah, I'm fine. Take me. You know what we could do? You know, speaking of plectrums, we could have a rating service. Yeah, I've heard that that's a thing. But
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane, and you know, and I keep, you know, you keep coming back to this. You know, PewDiePie obviously earns something completely ridiculous, and the reality is, of course, whatever we are interested in, that's where there will be a market for things. But I think it's so important to see this new growing market and understand it, because a lot of people will still be, you know, like when you were growing up, Otto, and you were playing computer games, you would hear that you can never earn money making that, you know, get a real job or get a real, and you can still hear that. That's not a real job. And you have someone, you know, working in you know, being proud for doing a real job.
It's the same thing with soccer, for an example. People will tell you that, oh, you'll never get good enough. There's so few people that's getting that good.
Yeah.
Get yourself a real job instead. Stuff like that. It's the same with esports.
Yeah, I mean, and it was even worse because, I mean, when I grew up, there was just no one. And I think this, you know, when we are starting having kids now, you got to remember that whatever the kids do, there's going to be a lot of value in that.
Who the fuck is Tiga?
Who knows? Who knows? But we have a good question from the
like a rapper.
Okay, that's a hen if I ever seen one.
Who knows? Anyway, have you talked anything about what is going on with Armenia and Azerbaijan? We have not actually.
No.
But we are. I think I have some news on that. Let me see.
I have not. So then Kringlan is gonna tell me about this. Then you're gonna tell me some about China and Japan, and then we're going over to We're going on.
We're going on. I don't have anything. If you have a good link, Bislord TV, don't feel afraid to send me. But I mean, the short thing here is there have been a lot of skirmishes, and it's actually looking pretty bad. Anonymous was involved and did some hacking, I think, on the Azerbaijani side. And Russia, you know, has pledged to, I think, back Azerbaijan. I'm not sure. So please send us a link. We know that it's actually, I mean, we've been talking about this, the melting pot that is Europe for a long time. It's kind of weird that we didn't have it here. The problem is, I guess, that I'm sometimes also confusing our Swedish shows. So I think we've mentioned something. Then obviously, when we do our European shows, I have to kind of clear my mind and take something through the whole week, which I'm not used to because I normally just take what's hot for the day. So that's something I have to get better at. Us both, I guess. I thought this was interesting, by the way. Speaking of public opinion, that's not a very high resolution image. Can I get that better? No. Anyway, in US and Europe, few difference between women and men in views of abortion. But you could see here, I mean, the views on abortion, and I think this was percentage who say abortion should be legal in all or most cases. I mean, this is just weird question, isn't it, Otto? Am I reacting?
The funny thing is that I have been, I was tipped by a friend who I shall keep anonymous to go into just a Reddit and the AMAs of the abortion nurses.
Yeah.
because
Oh my God.
apparently there is a huge amount of conservative women who go and get an abortion because they can, it's legal, but they don't want it to be legal, and they often like end their exams and stuff with like, yeah, I think you should be imprisoned for this.
Yeah, they get pissed off at their doctors.
God's sake.
Which is completely... It's mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. But, yeah, you're right.
Seriously, doctors are... It's the exact same thing as a mechanic for a car, a doctor for your body.
We get some good here from good stuff from the chat. Thanks, guys, and sorry for not reading up on this news properly. No, Russia backs Armenia and Turkey backs Azerbaijan. So we're
Turkey and jihadis? What?
The last time I watched this news, I want us to be a little bit... Now, this is really bad, right? But we have to remember that there has been fighting going on there on and off for quite a long time. And and this sometimes when I take news stories, I'm a little bit afraid of making it kind of, how do you say, a chicken out of an egg here. Because now that there's so much focus on this, it seems to make it worse, right? There has been like skirmishes going on, and now that the whole world has their eyes on it, then it explodes into something. Oh, you're Armenian. I know the back. Do you want to come in? I mean, Blitzlord, please come in and talk about it. That would be so interesting. If you want to. I mean, join us in... we're sitting down here in
Hangout.
In Hangout. If you want to. No pressure, obviously. There we go. Hey.
Hello.
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 How are you? Well, not so good.
Hello, Bizlord.
Apparently, but
I'm a bit stressed. I have family and stuff over there, so
oh shit, man.
7 days I've been like every day trying to spread awareness and stuff because like media is not properly covering it, and it's really sad because if you compare like Armenia and Azerbaijan and Turkey, like Armenia is 3 million people roughly. Azerbaijan is almost 10, Turkey is 80 million, and you know they're attacking the Armenians. So
yeah, I was just gonna let's start from the beginning of this. I'm all ears for a history lesson.
Yeah, let's have a little history lesson. What happened? What you know what? Let me also bring up Armenia on Google Maps so we can see it. If you click my live stream, you should be able to see what I'm watching
on Discord, because Discord to Twitch has about a 5-second delay.
So I'm streaming here here into Discord, so you can click live on my name in Discord, and you should be able to see where I'm looking.
Yeah.
So here we are. Armenia is, just background. So it's a very small, kind of isolated country here in the middle.
Yeah, it's a landlocked country surrounded by Azerbaijan, Turkey, Iran, and Georgia.
Boy.
And the borders to the east and west, like Azerbaijan and the Turkey borders are completely blocked, like no import or export is allowed, so it makes it even tough because then everything has to go either through Georgia or Iran.
Yeah, Iran is obviously so you can say that anytime that US wants to exclude Iran, which they do on regular basis, it just makes life in Armenia even worse.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they put all these embargoes and stuff on Iran, and they don't allow them to do trade. It even affects Armenia because then they can't import stuff.
No, of course.
When did this conflict start?
Yeah. So the history. So the area is to the right, to the bottom right, where the conflict is now.
Down here.
a little bit up. Yeah, basically that whole area,
Close
a
to
little
the
bit
lake.
to the right,
To the right.
to the right, to the
That
right.
was left.
Maybe I have. It's better if I find a map that shows the borders and stuff. But yeah.
I think this is the
Anyway.
border here. It's just not very
Yeah,
clear. Let's see if we can
that's
get
the
it.
border.
Yeah, but basically that area to the right of the border historically has had Armenian people living there, and when both Azerbaijan and Armenia became part of Soviet, all of that area became Soviet. But then later, when Soviet was disbanding, or it was the end of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
These people in that area, they wanted to basically become a part of Armenia, because Stalin, he drew the borders to please Turkey by creating buffer zones. Because if you see on the left side in the bottom there, that's also Azerbaijan. They gave that small part. No, next to Armenia.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit to the right, you see this area with the borders?
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, you have it.
So that's basically Azerbaijan as well, but it's not connected to the mainland Azerbaijan to the right.
Wow.
So Stalin, he basically divided it, because divide and conquer.
Yeah. I mean, it made geopolitical sense at the time, of course.
Yeah, he wanted to please Turkey, but he had also at the same time promised Armenia that land on the right is yours. But anyway, when the fall of Soviet Union came, both Armenia and Azerbaijan and the Armenians in that area, they voted for their independence, but Azerbaijan, they refused it. So instead of joining Armenia, these people, these people in that area, they chose to become their own nation, but they're not internationally recognized. It's called Nagorno-Karabakh.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is this Azerbaijan? Or is this some...
This is Azerbaijan, but the land is basically... Let me just find you a quick map. It will become much easier for everybody to see and understand.
Yeah. But just can I ask a question in the meantime when you're looking for it? The thing is that then basically Armenians and Azerbaijanians, or whatever you call, are basically the same people.
No. Okay. Azerbaijan are Turkish people.
Okay. Then I'm on again. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to be clear.
Let me find the map. Should I send you a Discord maybe, so I don't?
do.
Send it to
you can. There is a channel actually. Okay, yeah, you can do that way too. Here we go. Maybe this is a little bit better. Fans, fucking. Why does? I don't understand why people do this.
So that's basically that red area and that brownish area is what's controlled by the Armenian people of Nagorno-Karabakh.
So, it's a part of Azerbaijan, according to the current.
Officially based, it is, but it's not. I mean,
yeah,
they're saying it's ours, but it's really not theirs. Anyway, going back to the conflict, so they have always wanted to get this part back, and now with the backing of Turkey, they become confident to make a large-scale attack. They're bombing every day. Like you see, it says Stepanakert. That's the basically
cluster bombs. I mean that's almost like using mustard gas. I mean that's some highly.
Jesus fuck! So it's much worse than we have reported. so far.
So they have basically they get the cluster bombs from Israel and the
Of course.
suicide drones because Azerbaijan provides 40% of Israel's oil, so they have a good relationship in that way.
Aha.
And they sell weapons in return, and also a lot of gas because Europe doesn't want to buy gas from Russia. So there's a gas pipeline going from Azerbaijan through Georgia and Turkey, and then coming out to Italy and
Oh, that's a
providing
mess. That's such a mess.
south of Europe with gas. So all of these things basically,
Yeah, it's
that's why Europe is not doing anything, because a lot of like all the gas is coming from there for them. Israel is getting all their oil, like 40% of their oil.
Yeah.
And
Armenia just simply doesn't have enough friends right now.
and the thing with Russia is Armenia is backed by Russia, but this area is not. So Russia cannot go in, because if Russia goes in now, then it's an act of war. But Russia has a military agreement with Armenia. So as soon as Azerbaijan or Turkey starts bombing inside the Armenian border, then they have all the legal right to interfere. But currently Russia cannot do anything. So Armenia is completely alone at the moment. And Armenia, they don't have the same budget. Like, they don't have any natural resources. Like Azerbaijan has oil and gas. So they're basically, it's like fighting with bows and arrows against machine guns.
Yeah, you just have to withdraw. That's it. There's nothing to be done.
And the difference is, Azerbaijan is a dictator country. For the past 30 years, it's the same family that's been in power, the Aliyev family. And on the other side, Armenia, we've had 4 presidents so far, so it's a democracy.
I mean, like we said, I think you should be lucky that you don't have any natural resources, at least when it comes to that, because then it wouldn't have been a democracy anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we would had oil that made sense in the world, then USA had already been there.
Yeah.
But since we don't have anything, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But basically, like, almost every male is in the front lines, even from Armenia, because Armenia has a pact with them to provide them with military power.
Pact with who?
With Nagorno-Karabakh.
Ah, yeah. Okay, this particular area.
Yeah, exactly. And now, basically, it's not going well for the Azeris, because currently it's 10-1 in deaths. Like, Armenians are killing 10 Azeris for 1 Armenian death. So in that way, I mean, it's sad, but for Armenians it's good because we're managing so far. But then they're shelling all the cities, like people.
Oh,
I can send you a video of the cluster bomb.
Do.
And also when the Armenians are shooting down air fighter jet, it looks like a computer game.
Yeah, always looks like computer games, and this is the real sick thing. How far we have come from knowing the damage that we cause.
It's a Facebook link, or
I watched the first one because did it start by Azerbaijan shooting down anti-air missiles, I think. That was placed. Anyway, I saw some videos early on.
Basically, last 2 months ago in August, Turkey had a big military exercise together with Azerbaijan, but that military exercise was a cover-up for basically. You can put on the sound as well to make it more dramatic.
For fucking hell, this is so bad.
Sänk lite till, är du snäll. Det är liksom inte något som någon säger direkt, utan... Har vi inte sett den här en gång redan?
Oh, you have seen it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Fucked up shit.
The thing is that, doesn't this military base look very civilian?
This is a city. They're shell bombing the cities.
Exactly.
This is not a military base. This is in the
Exactly.
capital.
This is a...
I have been there. I have been on that street like 10 years ago.
What the fuck? And I mean, I mean, and Turkey is still going into the Union, are they not?
No.
Oh, that has been aborted now. Thank God.
I mean, they've aborted it. Let's kind of be clear. But whatever. I mean, it's always good to get some information.
Turkey would have
Bistordt, and
joined
Bistordt,
if
you have
we
been
would
here
have
for
left.
quite a while. You speak Swedish too, right? You live here.
Yeah. I speak
Yeah,
Swedish.
it's Bislo.
My roots are from Armenia, but I'm born in Sweden.
Yeah. I mean, it's so incredibly fucked up. And there's some simple things. You don't really need to know who's right or wrong in a conflict, but you don't fucking shell bomb a city.
Yeah.
Like, no. Just
I mean,
it's
oh,
incredible.
yeah.
Yes, so far, because when the war happened in the 90s, it was I think 6-year war,
Yeah.
and they had just now rebuilt everything, and everything was becoming nice again, and now they have bombed again. It's like 2,700 buildings are destroyed
I
currently.
mean, it's just so sad. I mean, it's such a horrible waste. You know,
And
I
there are,
can't even
I mean,
understand the pain.
has Azerbaijan said anything about why they're bombing civilians?
They're saying we want to free our lands and get
Yeah.
our territory back.
Well, this is how you make sure that this conflict goes on for at least another 2 generations.
I mean,
Well, now it's serious because Turkey is involved, and Turkey has always wanted to get rid of Armenians since the genocide.
yeah, the Armenian, that genocide is something for a
another
couple
time,
of episodes. But that's this is one of the graveyards of European history.
And
that
there
we
are
don't talk about.
there's basically every day new evidence is coming out. Like Amnesty International has confirmed that they're shelling with Israeli cluster bombs. The French intelligence, the Russian intelligence, even the Iranian intelligence have confirmed that they're sending jihadis, and now they're even sending al-Nusra forces, which is basically Al-Qaeda forces.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
the
and I mean,
and they're not. I just saw recently they let one reporter come in before. No reporters were allowed in Azerbaijan, and Armenia was basically inviting reporters to come and show what's going on because it needs to get coverage. And they have basically blocked all social media in Azerbaijan, so people can't share and see what's going on either, to basically drive their own narrative. I can show you the picture of the statistics of the internet uses in Azerbaijan.
Again, if we want to have an historical perspective, there are so many incredible similarities to the start of World War One here. Actually.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue. Like, if Russia gets involved, or if Turkey starts bombing, Russia gets involved. Turkey is part of NATO, then NATO gets involved. So
we'll get pulled in, and we'll get pulled in.
And we will back off. I mean, we won't back Turkey. No way.
Oh, not NATO is not up for discussion. We are if if Russia
but
goes
if we are attacked, but I don't think Russia will attack Turkey. I mean, they will attack Armenia, that's not a member of NATO, and they will have some Turkish troops in Armenia. So the Turkeys will try to pull NATO in, and NATO will say, no, we are a defense league, not an attack league. This is all wrong. Yeah.
No, you're probably right. Let's hope. Let's hope it's shady. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, these things are happening all over the world right now, and it is because because of all of these local politics issues that we're dealing with. I mean, it's not the first time, but it's really... it's good to hear your story. You were about to send something.
Yeah, I sent it.
Okay. And obviously, if we have some viewers who on the you know, who have some background in the Azerbaijani way of thinking, I mean, feel free to let us know. I mean, there's also always this, you know, history is written, right? If you know what I mean. Don't need to say more.
History is written by the winners.
Yeah. All right. I mean, the history is different depending on who you talked. Let's just see. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at some weird statistics.
That's basically the internet usage until
okay.
they started bombing.
I'll see if I can find it. This picture has been deleted from Twitter. No, there we are.
Of course it has. I was going to ask that. How many casualties were there of this cluster bombings?
It's hard to know, right?
I don't know the current one, but the ones I've seen is around 20 people currently, because they have bomb shelters and many of them have been evacuated to the Armenian mainland as well.
Ah, okay.
But there are casualties and a lot of deaths.
Okay, so this was not the
injuries. I mean,
this was not the capital of Armenia. This was the capital of this semi-Armenian part of Armenia.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Imagine like Kurdistan. They have their own area, but it's not officially recognized.
Let's watch this map. Let's watch this map again, so everyone follows.
Yeah, no, I understand now. But
so here is this one. The light gray, the light poop color, that's Armenia. And the little more darker poop color.
Yeah, the diarrhea one is Azerbaijan.
And this is part of Azerbaijan according to let's just say the creative rules of Stalin, creativity.
Yeah, you see the land they have on the left as well. Like my ancestors come from that part. Like I have a family tree that goes back to the 1600s, and my family comes from that part, which is occupied by Azerbaijan now.
So you're also a noble. I'm proud of you.
And we have you know, Viking runestones, but we have our own like Christian ones called Khachkars. It's
okay.
Like stone runes, but with Christian ones. So we had those, and we had like a necropolis where thousands of them were there, and like all my relatives and stuff, their stones, and they basically destroyed everything with sledgehammers and took bulldozers and threw them all in the river. So basically, if one day I want to go there, it will be impossible for me to trace my ancestors.
That's fucked up.
Like they not just want to kill us, they want to erase the Armenian people from history as well.
Yeah, and it's not the first time it's happened, because Armenia has its own culture and has its own people, and has been in a big force, you know, traditionally.
Armenia was the first nation to adopt Christianity, and Armenia has been there for thousands of years. Like the oldest stone tablet map, Armenia is on it, basically. So there's always been Armenian people in that area.
Okay.
While other nations have come and gone, Armenians have always been there.
Yeah. What's Georgia's position in this?
Georgia is basically
Russia.
on Azerbaijani side because the pipeline goes through them, and the cargo ships with the weapons coming from Israel have been going through Georgian airspace.
That's pretty fucked up, though.
And they have denied Russia taking down weapons from Georgia. So if any weapons are coming to Armenia, they're going around and coming from Iran.
Oh, that's fucked up. That is almost impossible.
But okay, which sides are fighting here? It's Armenians and
Azerbaijan.
It's Armenia.
No, that I know. But
Okay.
Armenia, which allies does Armenia?
Currently, no one.
Wow.
Armenia is fighting against Azerbaijan, which is using Turkish generals and fighter jets, and jihadis from Syria, which they have paid $2,000 to take them over there.
Otto, that's what we should have done. We should.
So far,
I don't like
1,500 have been confirmed.
Okay, Kringlan, no OnlyFans and no suicide bombings. I won't do it.
Come on. I mean, I think it's a combination idea going on here. We start an OnlyFans account where you run around as a jihadist, you know, with your weapon and you know, take over stuff.
I'm not sure if you're not even. I think you're being racist right now, but I'm not sure how.
I think there is some form of racism here. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah. Sorry, we're lightening up the mood here a little bit. But this is...
I would like to still go further back. Bislord, do you know, because this seems like an ancient conflict, like I said, who threw the first stone, according to you?
The first stone?
Yeah, because
in this conflict, like Azerbaijani conflict, or
Azerbaijan versus Armenia, because it seems like a pretty old conflict, and I have this.
But I mean, this is Turkey versus Armenia, really.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest.
Basically, Azerbaijan is the proxy for Turkey now.
Yeah. But the thing is that, has it always been like that?
No, historically, Azerbaijan wasn't a country until 1918.
Okay.
So, I mean, they don't really have the cultural background. They're Turkish people.
So basically, this is Israel-Palestine conflict all over again.
Not
The Azerbaijanis people, they are Tatars, which before that they were Mongols. So like Turkey and Azerbaijanis, they are descendants from the Mongolian Empire.
Okay.
So they haven't been in this area. Like Armenia was in that area before Turkic people came to that area.
Okay.
That's way back. But,
yeah.
But the Azerbaijani conflict, the Azerbaijani, they became Azerbaijan during the early 1900s.
It's like a created country, you can say, and there are many of them. They don't really have. It's not like they have a particular super long culture and they looking like they, you know, like different from others, etc., etc.
And they have, because of their money, they have really strong lobbyism and like it feels like the West is on their side currently, because everything, like the interviews they've done with the Armenian prime minister and the dictator in Azerbaijan, they're very like kind to the Azerbaijani when they're talking to him. But for example, the Armenian prime minister, they raise their voice and are very aggressive towards him. So it feels like there's some kind of an agenda, you know. So it's very sad to see, and I wish more people would see what's going on, because it's really terrible. And,
no, and you're talking about the news. I just want to stop there, because it's like, I think in Sweden, in all of Europe these days, we need to understand that news have changed, right? The way you make money on news is different today. The turnaround is much quicker. It's just harder, but it also means that, you know, when you don't pay for your news, what happens is that someone else is paying for your news. Someone is paying for your news, you know, and you should probably know who that is, because the manufacturing of consent, you know, to take Chomsky's words, is greater than ever, and it's like, I mean, if you were to read Swedish news stories about this is why I didn't want to get involved in it, because I can feel that this is a complicated issue. I don't know, right? And the Swedish news stories are, I don't even want to read them, because they won't tell you anything about it. You know, when they say something about it, which they generally don't, it's you know.
But basically, the Armenians, they're fighting for their existence. They have no interest in taking any more land. They just want to keep their land, which they have already. They're in that area which the conflict is. There are churches that are over 1,000 years old. There are Armenian fortresses that are over 1,000 years old. There is no evidence of Azerbaijanis historically ever being there until the Soviet Union.
No.
And during the Soviet Union, they basically lived together because they had to. If some conflict happened, then the KGB took care of it. And Aliyev's father was a general in the KGB. That's how he took over the country when it disbanded, because he had all this knowledge from KGB and all the connections.
Yep.
So it's really sad, and
Right, super sad.
Everything like they're doing to the Armenians now, they're saying we are doing to them. They're changing the narrative. They're just changing Azerbaijan to Armenia.
I mean, it's classic disinformation campaigns, and you know, as long as you don't have anyone on your side, nothing's going to change.
And the thing is,
it's weird though to see Georgia, because I thought Georgia, I mean, traditionally Georgia was this was given to, this is the proxy for Russia in the area.
Stalin was Georgian.
Yeah, I mean, this is not you know, and there's been some wars going on up here. I mean, there was not too far long ago that Russia invaded Georgia, right? Again, took over. So you have some issues here with Georgia, which is supposed to be essentially the idea of Georgia was much like Ukraine and other countries to be a proxy countries.
There is another reason why Georgians don't like Armenia, because of that particular war. Russia has military bases in Armenia.
Okay.
So Armenia, I think, is the only country outside of Russia where Russia has military bases, and they use the base that's in the city north of our capital called Gyumri.
Gyumri here.
Yeah, if you zoom in a bit, GYU.
MRI.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see.
Yeah. So basically, they have a base there, and they use that base to send fighter jets when they were fighting Georgia. So of that reason, they're not happy with the Armenians.
No, it's a mess.
Basically.
So did you? Because I saw Anonymous made a thing out of supporting Armenia.
Yeah, the Greek Anonymous did a lot of hacks on the Azerbaijani governmental websites.
That was kind of cool. What did they uncover, or was it just DDoS attacks to kind of fuck them up?
Yeah, they're basically trying to shut them down because they have a huge army of people spreading false propaganda and the pictures and stuff. So it's, and you know, I'm not only taking Armenia's side, because whatever Armenia is putting out, I'm looking for information from other media sources, like the Murad guy, which I linked it from Twitter. He's a correspondent that's not Armenian. I'm checking other journalists to see what they're writing, what they are seeing, to know that what the truth is, because they are not Armenian, so they are not biased to write in the favor of Armenians. So I want to know the truth. So that's how I seek my information. I just don't regurgitate what the Armenian government is saying.
No.
And one of the major differences here has also been all of the soldiers that are being killed on the Armenian side. They're putting out their names, their birth dates. Azerbaijan is not giving any information. Even their soldiers, which they found their passports on them, Armenians put a list like these are the killed soldiers on the other side as well. So they're trying to be really transparent, and they have a lot of also.
I mean, just like you say, I mean, the fact that Azerbaijan shut down internet, it just goes to show that you don't do that unless you are intent of taking over something, doing it by force. You have a plan, you know you're safe, you know you're gonna get backed up, you know you don't just start this without feeling secure. It's specifically not, I would say, if you are a part of a dictatorship, KGB based, also, have been in control for that long over a country. I mean, this is not, I think you can, just by knowing who shut down internet, you can kind of get an idea of the seriousness of this and what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like, funny thing, for example, when Eurovision was hosted in Azerbaijan, when they showed the map of their area, they didn't even show Armenia. Like it was, Armenia was part of Azerbaijan. So it's like they really have no regard for Armenians, and basically, if you see interviews with Ilham Aliyev, he's sitting and just saying lies. Like you can even see it on his body language that he's lying. And it's very strange for me that it's simple history. Like anybody can Google the Armenian history, the Azerbaijani history, and then he sits and says like, we are what's it called, wanderers or whatever. And on his Twitter, he says we're not even worth as much as servants.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's really sad. Like I haven't been able to sleep properly for over a week now because of this shit.
Oh man, I can imagine. It sucks so hard. How much of your family is still down there?
I don't have too much, a few, but I have a lot of friends and stuff, and they have families that are in the front line at the moment.
So we're talking about this Kuburno Karabakh area, right?
Yeah, Nagorno-Karabakh.
Nagorno, yes.
And the Armenian name is actually Artsakh, and the other name is the
Artsakh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
So
suffer
basically,
with you.
yeah, that's brief about
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's
the
good.
conflict. But yeah, I mean, all I can say is don't just believe what's coming from that side, and do your own research, because they have so much money they're putting into propaganda right now. It's sick. It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
we can't manage to counter it because we don't have the manpower for it.
I mean, Jesus, no, there's no way. And I think that's like, I hope that's one of these lessons that we come out after, COVID-19. Hopefully this, I mean, if this US election goes south, all hell can break loose in so many places. We've been talking about this for quite some time. I mean, there's so many areas like this in the world.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of bad blood that's being, whipped up by fascism. And
But people should look really closely into this conflict, because this can turn into a new world war.
Yeah, you're right. And the worst thing is, probably the only way, and this is probably the way most people are going to understand it, the only way to not turn it into a new world war is to let Armenia be. And Azerbaijan take whatever they want. And I mean, the reality is, yes, you know, I mean, let's go back to the history again, you know? This is the way that we choose to treat Germany. You know, like, I mean, the fact also, I mean, you can look at Ukraine as well, where we didn't, you know, have the balls to do anything. You know,
And that's the reason for Turkey as well. They cannot recognize the genocide, because if they do, then they have to pay money the same way the Germans did to the Jews. And one fourth of the eastern side of Turkey was Armenia
yeah.
before.
I
And
mean,
if
it's
they're
much
gonna-
more exactly. I mean, Armenia was huge, right?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, we're talking about an empire here that was here for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So what Turkey wants to do, they want to reinstate their empire. They want to have all the way from Armenia,
Essentially, they
Azerbaijan
want to
to
create
Turkmenistan.
more Kurds.
Well, there won't be any Kurds left if they take over this area. Armenia, the Yazidi Kurds, which were getting killed by Turkish and the ISIS, Armenia took in a lot of the Yazidis. They gave them their own area. They even let them have their. They helped them write their own school books in their own language to keep their culture and everything. And recently, they volunteered to go and fight against Azerbaijan, because they've also had enough of getting killed, and they don't want to lose what they've been offered by Armenia.
Ah, man, it's so fucked up and so sad. But it's, I mean, it's really good that you come in and tell. And I want to thank you for doing that. Now, and whatever our shows are, I mean, we love it when you completely derail us. Specifically, if I can get a history lesson, then I'm super happy. And I mean, normally, don't take our word or his word for things. Do your research, right?
Yeah, I
Do
encourage you, do
your
your own research. And if there is any Azerbaijani, I would love to have a debate with them as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I welcome them to tell them their side as well, because people need to hear both sides and then do their own research and then decide for themselves who is telling the truth, who is doing right, who is doing wrong. So far in this conflict, it's been in the Armenian favor, because they've been able to verify, for example, the cluster bombs, the jihadis and everything. So Armenians have been in the truth yet. But I'm sure they have done a lot of things wrong also in this conflict, and it will come out eventually as well. But whatever is happening now, Armenia has not done anything wrong. They're defending themselves to not go through another genocide.
no, and I mean, this is enough, like I said as well. We are having cluster bombs in populated areas, right?
Did you show the picture of them shooting down, the video of them shooting down the
No,
aircraft?
I don't think so.
It's the Facebook link I sent you. If you go up.
Oh,
That
fuck.
that this camera is still standing is pretty amazing, though.
Yeah, it was in a car dash.
Ah, okay, it's a car dash cam. Okay.
I think the car was from Russia, because in Russia all the cars have to have a dash cam for insurance reasons.
Ah, in America as well. And I think in China they're having it as well.
Come on. Fucking Facebook. You're killing me, face. Okay. Yo, I can't see this.
Oh, okay.
Not
Never mind.
available.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, is this something you posted?
Give me the link and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, also, is it something you posted? Was it publicly available?
I want to answer this question I got. The weapons that the Armenians have cannot reach Baku, so it's completely false. And Armenia's military is not using their weapons. This Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians, they have their own weapons they're using. Armenians have also are the only is the only country outside of Russia which has the Russian Iskander missile system, which is one of the new missile systems Russia has made, and those are not in use either because it's in the Armenian army. Anyway, that's all for me. I don't want to take up the whole show, but
No
thank you very
problem.
much for letting me
No, it's
very
interesting.
relate and also tell a bit of what's going on. And
I mean, it's important, and I mean, I learned so much, and I think it's so important. I actually, like I said, when I watched this first, I'm like, now there have been skirmishes going on here for so long that I'm a little bit worried that the media is blowing this out of proportion, because when they do, then it becomes a thing. You know what I mean? But this is clearly a thing. You know, like, sometimes in order to prepare for a war, the media will, start, saying, there's skirmishes, da 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 da. But this is serious, like much more serious than I thought.
The ironic thing is that Armenians were the first people that found oil in the Azerbaijani area, and then during the genocide, they got killed and Azerbaijan took over. So basically, they're killing us with the profit of our own doing.
Yeah, the black gold, man.
Yeah.
That shit will kill you. Fucking hell.
But as I said, I encourage everyone to do their own research. Yep. Look on both sides. Don't just take my word for it.
No, and it's important. And I mean, we've had several little schools in how you can do your research. Maybe we should have a fast little one. I want to give you just a quick, easy tip is to, unless just immediately when a news source doesn't link to their sources internally like this, I just fucking skip it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't just link in your sources properly, you can't do anything right. I mean, it's like, if you see, everything connected to a fucking car battery without a switching port, right? Or like if you walk into this studio.
Yeah, we all know. Look at the proof of the thing. Now look at your private messages. I have a really nasty movie that was sent.
Nasty movie? Oh, really? Seriously? Let's not.
This is really, yeah.
No, No, we know. I'm not gonna watch that.
Okay.
I don't need no snuff shit.
What is it?
No, it's not snuff. It's.
But he dies here,
No, he doesn't die in the movie. I can check it again, but I'm gonna be sure he didn't die in the movie.
Yeah, he did. At least what it says here.
No, there's a guy who's got some cluster and some blood on his clothes, and he's crying, and another guy is crawling on the ground.
Yeah,
I can't see anybody dying, but yeah.
That's bad enough.
Situation at the
look, if you want to see that, you can do it on your own time.
I'm actually gonna post this in Förtroendekollapsen.
Yeah, do that, and you can post it on there. I will not show any active war images. I mean, that the shelling and stuff is fine. We know that. You can go out and do your own research. I do not want to just. We have a NSFW, we're 18 plus, but
I just want to show you that video with the airplane. I'm downloading it now and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, do. As long as it's more of the computer games style, we can live with it.
It's no blood or dead bodies.
Yeah. There was no dead bodies in mine either.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
That guy gets hit in the head and dies. He's still, but you don't see any blood.
Okay.
Yeah, let's. No, I was just reacting to that.
I mean, but I can tell you this. after seeing this movie, I can tell you I am 100% certain of my decision not to do military service in Sweden.
Oh yeah.
I'm so 100% certain there is nothing that could happen to me, I believe, that would make me want to put myself where I was either in the situation of those soldiers or was the oppressor in that situation. There is no way.
No.
I sent you the clip now, you should have it.
We shouldn't have to do military service, period. Anyway, yeah.
If Trump wants the oil, Trump can go fight himself.
Here we go. I can't share this with you. Could you post that as you know what? Do like this instead. Post it in our joint channel above here called Röstkanaldumpen. Post it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really want to show human suffering. I mean, there is a lot of it. You can find it on your spare time. And
Why can't I post it?
oh, wait, let me just check the channel settings. Send attach files. Okay, now. Well, you should be able to embed links to.
Now, yeah.
My bad. That's why we don't use this channel.
Now.
Is this a fighter plane? A bomb?
Yeah, it's a fighter jet.
It's a fighter jet. Is this a fucking suicide crash? What's he doing? Fucking hell.
Okay, I have to watch it myself. I don't see it.
No, you can't see it. You have to watch it yourself.
So
But
put
that
up
is
the
an American A-10. Yep, that's an American A-10.
It's a lot of bombs.
and it's coming back. This, it's like it doesn't care.
That's pretty. That's a death wish.
We'll be back.
I don't know what kind of. Well, I mean, his ammunition is not ending. I have never seen anything like
Yeah.
this.
Oh. So this is Azerbaijani airplane.
Yeah. The Armenian
Oh man. That's a fucking suicide.
and it crashes like behind the guy shooting it.
Oh, that was lucky.
I mean, just like you said, are they ever running out of ammo?
Is it a drone? No, it was that has pilots in it. Not a drone, as far as I could tell. Well, you never know if they're radio controlled though these days.
Well, I haven't seen a drone have that much weaponry and the flares and stuff.
Yeah, but if you look at him going up and down like that, I don't think that could be a human in that aircraft. I mean, the G-forces would have knocked him out.
No, they're super trained for that shit.
Yeah, but still,
I mean, that's not the problem. I mean, the point of having a pilot in these planes today is pretty low because you could do everything remotely.
yeah.
No.
And I mean, maybe he was like super fanatic or suicidal, but it looked like the pilot had a bit too much balls for this not to be a Hollywood movie or no pilot in there.
I mean, the reality of no matter how you watch this, you know, like if you're gonna look at
Yeah,
this,
but you,
so
for the record, you were totally right, Bislord. This looks exactly like a computer game.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
and it's fucking freaking. You know, just the audio of it is fucking scary. Like how far we've come, how much we've developed stuff to kill each other. It's so sad. It's so horribly sad.
I mean, that was basically that was basically a laser gun. Because the bullets were coming so.
That's an incredible amount of bullets. Anyway,
Tracer rounds.
Yeah, I don't even want to see what America has.
no. But it's, oh man, it's so fucking nasty. And there was something else we got from chat. Is that a drone? True, probably a VTOL. Which region is this in? Which region is it in? Did you answer that question?
This is where the fighting is going on.
So this is in the red area that we looked at least,
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, I suffer with you, and it's good that you come in to talk about it. And I think you've educated everyone a whole lot today, which was probably needed. Because this was on my blind.
Yeah.
This was on my blind spot.
I had no idea about this, and if there is any development in this situation or any new movies come out.
There are a lot of bloody movies, but
yeah, we don't need to see them. We don't need to.
Those are not proper to show here.
It was the same at the early COVID. I saw a video of where was it, Kringlan? It was something in South America.
Yeah,
Argentina or it was something. It was just people tossing out the corpses on the street, and I mean, it was like, that was nasty. And we didn't need to show that. I saw it. I don't really.
No, I think it's like this. I mean, people can do.
Care.
When you do research, you're gonna run into shitty things, but you can do some of the research on your own. And I'm gonna be completely honest. Now, I think that computer games and all of that shit, I don't think that leads to violence. But I honestly do not recommend people to watch people dying a lot. Okay, this desensitizes you.
Yeah, that is something.
And it's really bad, because the moment that, you know, the natural feeling about all of this should be such an incredible sadness. You know? And when you see someone that gets hurt, it should be almost too painful for you to watch, because you can imagine that pain on yourself. Right?
So basically, I'm broken. Yep.
I'm just saying a lot of people are a bit broken. But this should be our default, and it shouldn't be that you want to watch them, right? And if you do, you may want to... You can keep watching them, but imagine yourself in that position. Imagine you being the person who is there.
Yeah, and I will still say that even though...
Feel the pain, you know?
I still can see it for what it is, a piece of history caught. I can still figure, because like the first thing I said is that I'm completely confident with my choice of not doing the military service after I see that, because I can really see myself in that situation, or as the oppressor. But
yeah, I know we didn't see that video tech logic. But yeah, I mean, again, super good. And like, come in and, you know, Bislord, you're here often. So good to hear you talk about this stuff. I mean, I want to tell you, we have a lot of viewers who I think have a lot of knowledge about certain things. Don't be afraid to come in and school us. Don't be afraid to even, you know, I would like to have you back maybe on a Monday, and where we talk about maybe next week even, Bislord. Oh, he disappeared. Died.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to share more news, and if even I find out Armenian wrongdoings, I will share them as well.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I felt like I could ask you who threw the first stone before, because I don't know why, but I have put you in a folder where that you're very down to earth and very concerned about the neutrality.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to kill people. Like, whatever we're doing now is defending our own existence, and if we don't shoot back, then we might as well just put the gun to our heads and kill ourselves. Like, and like we are, or we and we. I'm not there, but the Armenians, they're targeting military positions. The Azeris are hiding their tanks and artillery weapons in villages. So if we miss, it hits civilian buildings. Then they say in media that we're targeting civilians, but it's not true. Like, it's a lot of
I mean,
these
it's
difficult
it's
things they're
always
doing.
like this.
It's a lot of difficult things, and like in the Armenian, in Stepanakert, Nagorno-Karabakh's capital, they've already bombed the telephone system, so there is no internet there. They've bombed the power grid, so there's hardly any power except for the emergency generators. But they haven't targeted any infrastructure on their side, because we're not after destroying the country. We're just defending ourselves. And after this fighter jet movie, the Armenians bombed the airport in the city of Ganja, which is funny.
You have a city named Ganja?
Ganja.
No, Azerbaijan has a city named Ganja.
Okay.
And they bombed the airport
Yeah.
there because the Turkish fighter jets and their suicide drones were taking off from there. So they
When you say suicide drones, what do you mean?
basically this
The one we
drone
saw.
flies into you and explodes. It doesn't.
Okay.
Not the one we saw. That's just an airplane.
So imagine a Japanese kamikaze pilot, but without the pilot.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to be 100% sure that that's what I thought, because I mean, all dystopic scenarios in my head has these flying unmanned motherfuckers.
Yeah. And what's going to become really disturbing is when you start pairing that with AI.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get, I mean, we're not even talking about the same
Swarm, when there's a swarm of them.
Yeah, it doesn't even
It will be more accurate death when the AI takes over.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be very funny when you can code them to like DNA or stuff like that? Yeah.
A certain type of DNA. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Locate people with brown eyes. Oh.
Okay, this is getting so dark.
Yep.
My pain is immeasurable. No, it's again, thanks for lifting this. I mean, just stay on. I'll try to get back to some more positive news. So I'm gonna start. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
We got 30 more minutes, right?
We don't have any more minutes really, but I mean, given that we've expanded on this, and I think it's worthwhile, I think we can give ourselves the number of minutes that Mikael gives us. I think he's in the chat somewhere.
Because there is a news on that. There's two countries in the world who is standing out on their hatred towards China.
Yeah.
It's Japan and Sweden.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I do see this, not China hate, but willingness to ridicule the Chinese government ever since we had.
Thank you,
this,
Michael. Sorry, Otto. Thank you, Michael. This one, he said it's okay with 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Very, very nice. I don't think we'll need that long though. Depending on how long Kringlan will take to make an outro and end it later.
We're probably gonna need it.
Yeah, the thing is that ever since Sweden had a little, we made a humoristic program about a tragic incident that happened to some Chinese tourist who apparently didn't know how society worked. And well, China kind of responded pretty harshly. There was a government paid rapper named Pissy who made a diss track towards
right.
Sweden. So this conflict I've seen, but I imagine that you know more about the conflict between China and Japan, and I believe that to be a bit more, would you excuse me if I say real?
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone's relationship to China the last few years have become much more real, right? But obviously Japan has a incredibly. I mean, they have such. A long
What
history.
I mean is that the quote unquote war, if you want to call it that, with Sweden, is childish. I mean, sending a
I mean,
state rapper named Pissy. Come on.
Yeah, right. But you got to remember, it's a lot more than that, right? I mean, China is a part of the Russian military practices
Yeah.
they do here,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
And Sweden is a part of America.
yeah. I mean, we are getting put into positions where, you know, and like we talk about a lot. I mean, we in the
Yeah, but-
West, we have nothing. We have nothing we have no moral high ground here, and we gotta get that out of our fucking minds. Because the shit that
Yeah,
we've
but-
been doing for a long time, we better apologize, and we better
Yeah.
hope that the countries that have been taken advantage of in these ways by us do not feel the need to do the same to us.
Yeah.
And that's
The
a kind
thing
of
is that hasn't China been doing pretty much the same to both Korea and Japan before it became Japan? I'm talking
I
like
mean-
Ming Dynasty.
I mean, I'm sure you've had a lot of shit going on between these countries. The
because-
reality is, I'm not too sure about the history before the modern history.
Okay. I
So
thought
I wouldn't be
you,
able to.
you
give
know
you
me.
specifics.
I think you know everything about China
I mean,
from A to Z. So,
with
yeah.
North Korea, I know. I mean, North Korea has an or Korea, the Korean Peninsula has a more interesting history, maybe. But I mean, what you can say for sure, right, is in front of all the World War II, where Japan did some. I mean, if we think the Nazi Germany was bad, again, you should look at what they did here. I mean, it's pretty much the Nazis 2.0, right? They raped, they made medical experiments on people, they put them, I mean, they just shot them, mass graves, everything, right? A lot of medicine experiments on the local population. This is in Hong Kong, right? This is the population around here. This is Guangzhou, Nanning, right? The whole southern. So it's horrible, right? I mean, it was horrible. And I don't think anyone, this is not really the dispute. I mean, some of the reasons why this has become kind of, you should remember that the previous leaders of China haven't been particularly nationalistic, right? They've said one China and the flag and all of that stuff, but they really have been pushing more for an agenda of unification, right? Of letting go of the past than you could say that the recent leader has. It's always been pissing off China a little bit when Japan Prime Minister every year goes and honors the dead in the Japanese military when they attack China. Because, I mean, this is what they did, right? They attacked China. I mean, there's no way around that. It's not China. Again, like you look at this Azerbaijani kind of conflict here, you know, I'm not sure, right, really there, but it's kind of the same. At least in this case, it's very clear. They attacked China, right? So, speaking of the stone in that particular conflict, and, you know, I'm sure they had a billion reasons for doing it. But I mean, lately it's because China is growing militarily, right? And their fishing fleet is pretty nasty. Not that the other countries' fishing fleets are much better, but they are, you know, and they've been building islands in the South Chinese Sea and even up there, and they're strengthening their positions militarily, right? It's worrisome for other countries, of course. And yeah, was that some background? Did it help a bit?
Yeah, it helped a bit, and also I know some of the history for, like I said, that when Japan was still a shogunate, the Ming Dynasty, who they were calling, who ruled the Empire of China, they were not very kind to them.
I'm just saying here, thank you so much, Bislord TV said a comment there. Thank you so much again. And don't be afraid of coming back. I mean, if we have an expert commentator here, and I mean, obviously, just keep on making sure that you tell everyone to do their own research. And it doesn't matter if you, I mean, you know your biases, right? And I mean, that's all we can do as human beings, right? Know our biases. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Otto. You were going on about China.
No, as I said, what I
Okay, you have to repeat because I forgot.
okay, well, basically, the Ming Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. During that era, I'm pretty sure that Japan was still a shogunate, which basically means that it's a lot of states being ruled by one of the small states.
Mhm.
And it's not really being ruled. They're more paying some tribute to him and then sort of doing what he says. It's shogunate. It's read on Japan if you're interested in that kind of story.
Yeah.
But the thing is that China was so dominant in that, or the Ming Dynasty were so dominant in that area.
Yeah.
That basically everybody has a grudge against them. Korea has had so much trouble with themselves, north and south.
But that's recent.
Yeah, that's recent. But that's why they are not angry or fighting with China. They're fighting with each other instead. But they would also be part of that conflict.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I mean, South Korea to a large degree, yes.
Yeah, South Korea it was set there by America. Kim Jong-il was his father. Kim Jong-il, the war hero. Basically, he was just a general, I think, when he took power.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just China is it's such a long history, right? And it's kind of interesting to see. But yeah, obviously, and I can say what I usually tell my friends, because this is what's happened recently. You know, when I went to China, it was one of the best places to be because. And this is an example of it. And I told you, Otto, before, I'm sure, and maybe other people here are gonna get a refresher. But I played with this guy called Jack, right? And he's a great guitarist, and we still make music together. But he's a Chinese, right? And he's a local, super local. So his grandparents were, people who remember this, right? These are people who died, right? People who had, a lot of their families dying, right? And who... Yeah, have memory. I mean, we're talking the 40s, 50s, right? 40s. It's not gone from memory yet. I mean, it's getting there, but it's not gone. Which is so surprising to me. Because when I said I have a Korean sister, I joked about that because, Korean friend. And she wanted to come to the room. He made a joke, right? He said, bangzi. Which it literally means like a tall hat, Like, I'm not sure if you watch this old Asian stuff. They have spear. They have like a old Asian military with a spear and a big hat, like tall one. That's what the Chinese it's a kind of derogatory term for Korean. I mean, it says a little bit jokingly too. I mean, don't take it too seriously, right? Because it's kind of like, it's said in a joking kind of friendly tone. But I was like, well, how come you're so pissed at the Koreans, man, and like the Japanese? I mean, I know what they did here. You know what they did there. What's up with them? And he just said, Japanese porn, man. It forgives everything. And he laughed, right? It's a joke, kind of, right? But it also kind of goes to show, like in China, you had two generations who were so determined on not carrying the grudges to the new generation, right? To the next generation. But to see Asia as a whole, And this is also kind of why this one China is very important. Because you are just having, among the people at least, you're forgiven. Right? If that makes any form of sense, Otto, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we have. Maybe we should leave the war and go over to the politics in America.
Yes, really quick then.
Yeah, just a quickie, because we are having a debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence, right?
Today,
And
tonight.
yeah, and as of what I've heard, Mike Pence is going to be sitting behind a glass window, and I
Really?
yeah, thanks for those kind words, Miss Lord. Really cool.
Yeah.
And well, could you give us some background story into Kamala and
Okay.
I keep forgetting his name.
Mike Pence.
Thank
Yeah. So I mean, both of these are ultra-conservative people. Let's start with that. From a Swedish point of view, they are very very similar politically. We're talking about neoliberalism. We're talking about hard prison sentences. We're talking about putting the blame on parents for the kids. We're talking everything is personal responsibility. Tough criminal laws, blah 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 blah. So on those terms, they're quite. I mean, on the actual politics, they are very similar. Let's not fool it. I mean, I'm so tired of the charade, right? This is not anyone who's going to change anything, any one of them. Now, Mike Pence is a very religious dude, and he's religious to the tune of the QAnon kind of conspiracies stuff. Because the shady thing with USA is that all of those individual conspiracy theories that you once could have, they have kind of merged into one gigantic one that is also merged with the religious belief that the earth will be reborn in the flames of the Jews, essentially. So you need to have a Jewish state, and it's going to burn somehow, right? It's like the rebirth needs to happen roughly in the same place that Jesus was born, right? And then a new Jesus will be born, and the true believers will not be touched by the flames, right? So you can say this is a death cult. It's a Christian death cult. It's kind of what the Mormons believe. But there's a lot of Christian factions that have some form of another into this belief, and it's kind of merged with QAnon. And the difference here is that Trump is Jesus reborn, and he will bring about the flames, kind of, right? To purify the evil, degenerate spirit, right, of people. And I mean, they believe that all of that stuff. So Pence is I mean, he's not gonna say this openly, but he's a part of this kind of movement, right? The Christian anti-abortion, obviously, all of that stuff. And these are the issues where they have differences. Kamala is not against abortion, right? She's for homosexuals to get married, right? She's so on social issues, they have a difference. On other political issues, they just don't. It's going to be fun to see their debate. But are you serious? He's going to sit in a glass cage? They're both going to do it.
I saw some news about it. That at least Pence is going to sit behind a glass.
That's good, because he doesn't shake hands with women, by the way. Just so you know, some of these weird stuff. He will never be alone with a woman, and he refuses to shake hands with women. I mean, we're talking ultra fucking conservative fucking shitheads. It's madness.
But there have been so many sex scandals. This might be one good thing. I mean,
oh my God! Okay,
I can't even joke about this. Okay, I understand.
No, you can joke about it. I'm just sure that there is a lot of scandals. The only thing I know for sure is that those fucking conservative fuckers, it's always been like that. They are the most fucked up ones. They're the ones who do the really, really sick shit. Like that's okay. This is obviously this is my personal experience. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm just not surprised if something really juicy came up about him. I mean, they're just a little bit better. And I think the church and those things have always been better on keeping things secret too. You know, like. But yeah, that's just my personal bias. It's interesting to see, though, at the same time, you know, as you have this really fucked up Christianity growing in US, you have the Pope going out and saying, you know, that market capitalism has failed us. And it's a very, very strong message that he sent, and I mean, it's much deeper than that, you know, saying that this idea that the market will distribute equally and fair must be taken as a failure, you know, and we must look for new political leadership, you know, etc., etc., etc. We talked about that news in Swedish for some time ago. I mean, that's huge, right? To a certain extent, and so, I mean, it's becoming a war of Christianity as well, because a lot of these old nationalist, you know, movements, they want to capitalize on Christianity. You know, everyone from, you know, Dave Shapiro to all of the fucking identically dark web, you know, are talking about the Judeo-Christian tradition, as if that's a thing. You know, which drives me nuts.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, sorry, and rant.
You have been so sensitive.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive today.
You're like, oh, I'm ranting. I'm so sorry. Oh,
Yeah, I'm sensitive.
ranting is not always bad.
Okay. We have an end rant command in the chat, so you can end.
Yeah, nobody has used it.
Ranting for too long. No, nobody has used it.
Yeah.
I was about to say this. Look here, Armenia here. Who should say abortion should be legal? Percent who say abortion should be legal in all or most cases. With Georgia ranging from 7 to 12, the only really massive outlier, Moldova also.
So Georgia does not like abortions, okay?
No, US is 57-60. So fewer men. Poland is interesting enough, more men than women think that abortion should be legal.
Have you met somebody who has grown up in Poland and immigrated?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
That's they usually have a very interesting way of looking at things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like
I would be so bold and go as far to say that the patriarchy in Poland is one of the better patriarchy I've seen in Europe or the world.
Yeah, if you mean the Orthodox Church here.
Yeah, but not just. I mean the Polish specifically, not the Orthodox part. It's hard to understand, but it feels like.
But are you talking about the general mood of the Polish people, or when you say patriarchy, it makes me think of the Orthodox Church?
Yeah, I'm talking about I mean, historically, all over Europe, all over the world, you have had a male dominance and a female submissive, in most cases. Am I wrong or right?
I guess you're right.
Yeah, and I would say that there are some places that the patriarchy was pretty nasty. France, England, for an example. In Poland, it was a lot more protective. So I can actually draw a parallel to this here, that it's more men than women, that the men can understand the safety behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of Polish guys because I worked in kitchens, season work for kitchens.
Yeah.
And it's very popular for Polish people to do this kind of thing. And they are, I'd like to say, one of the weirdest and coolest European people that I know and that I have met.
Yeah, it's true. Polish people have such a great sense of humor.
That as well. As long as you don't joke about them, them being homosexual.
You can do that too. You just gotta get to know them. Finland is another country with fucking great sense of humor, where also the male are a little bit overrepresented. In fact, quite a few countries here. Italy.
1%.
Hang on. Yeah, no. Wait, I'm reading it the wrong way. No, it's 86% men and 87% women. But I mean, it's very similar. Sweden, obviously, 95% of women and 93% of the men. I mean, I don't get why men... Don't you fucking think about shit? You fucking morons. You know, if you live in Sweden and you make a fucking girl pregnant, you better goddamn hope she has an abortion. If
Why?
you're not prepared. Because, you know, you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay, man.
Yeah, you mean like that, but seriously, if you want to make sure that doesn't happen, either do the snip snip or use a double rubber.
Yeah, but do people do that?
Well, people will always do stupid shit. And I mean, I am all for more people taking responsibility. I mean, if you decide to have a nice night and you don't have any rubber and you do it anyway, and she gets pregnant and she decides to keep it, yeah, it's unfair, but dude, life's unfair. You weren't careful. You fucked up. Sorry, bro.
I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think it's reasonable.
I mean, there is a way out. I mean, if you don't want to pay, I mean, move from Sweden.
Yeah. Investigate Arbetsförmedlingen is a foolproof preventive. Yeah, that makes... if you sit and work with journalism, let's... You know, if you're going to do investigative journalism, don't worry about babies. Don't worry about contraception. The easiest contraception is not having a girl.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen for you.
Yeah, we will be ending this show in just a few minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Before we do it, I just want to say that this giant dig that Michael has done on the Swedish unemployment office and this cartel thing, whatever they're doing, that is fucking amazing job.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
It is. It's incredible. So a lot of love to Michael going up for that, obviously. And that's what we're going to do next. So for I think we're actually just going to take... I think we may even go into just a waiting period and then just jump right back out. We'll
TechLogic. TechLogic just asks, I mean, there are no stupid questions, so I'm not going to say the question is stupid, but if the dude has to pay for the abortion, should he be able to have a say in the girl having an abortion or not? Dude, or actually, I don't know TechLogic. Sorry, I'm not going to presume anything, but
I mean, most girls will actually talk with you because they don't want to have the baby alone.
exactly. That's one part. Most normal people are reasonable about these kind of things, but second of all, it's her body.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's a principle for me. You don't invade on somebody else's body.
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, at least, you know, for me, it's like this.
Life is not
It's just
fair.
her. From the moment you have made a girl pregnant, you better. You're gonna take responsibility for that shit, man. And
Yeah,
if
you have put a child to the world. If you abandon that shit, I mean, you're less than human.
yeah, this is not my opinion, by the way. Just asking the question. So yeah,
That is my opinion.
the reality is that the guy normally has a say in it or not, because most girls do that. But if if it should be some legal thing or not, I mean, this is all up to the girl. You know,
Yes.
to carry that baby to term or not. That's it. Yeah.
And I mean,
If the girl doesn't want to have the abortion, but the guy doesn't. If the girl doesn't want to have the abortion, yeah, you're drunk. Yeah, you're drunk. Fuck yeah, you're drunk. If the girl wants to have the abortion and the guy doesn't, well, then she is going to have an abortion.
yeah, it's her decision. Ultimately, it's her decision.
It's just that. And you know what, guys? I'm going to call out to all guys everywhere. Oh my God, isn't it nice to not have to be the one responsible for that decision? I mean, we have made ourselves not have to make one of the toughest decisions in the history, you know, one of the most heartbreaking, painful decisions that you could ever do. And we were able to dodge out of having made that fucking horrible decision by grounds of equality.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, yeah, we'll give you this. You take this. Now we're equal. You take care of this. Did you do not?
It's not just about having to make the decision. It comes with,
cost.
It's not painless.
No.
I mean, yeah.
But just having made that decision, no one makes that decision on a fucking whim to have an abortion, and this is the craziest thing that seems to cross people's mind. I'm sure there are girls who are, who just don't give a fuck, right? Maybe they've watched too many snuff films online and they don't feel anything anymore.
We are talking very, very, we're painting with a very big brush here. We're dra alla över en kam, as we say in Sweden.
Yeah, we're pulling them all over one comb.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist, but yeah, fuck, man. We made a huge win on that one. Let's not.
And a lot of other.
Yeah, but I mean, even if abortion, no, man. Oh,
dude,
God.
I'm so glad that I don't have to have a period.
I'm so glad about so many fucking things about being a guy. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, how happy I am that I am a guy in this world. And with that said, I think we guys, specifically white guys, sometimes maybe we could just shut up and listen a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we are, two white guys.
And if you have an opportunity to help, especially non-white females, to take a step forward in an organization or whatever, I mean, for God's sake, give them a fucking break, man.
Yeah, it's kind of tiresome, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves with SD and all of that fucking shit, because it's just like, dude, I mean, I don't want to be the one, and we don't, right? I mean, I understand that the working class has gotten it a lot worse, and there is no real alternative for you, and I know why this is, appealing, but I cannot, out of my fucking mind, can I understand when middle-aged, rich, white people go out, so hard on BLM or whatever it is, and just do not at all recognize that they have a privilege in society. It's extremely conceited, like, it's so easy. You don't have to say anything. You just have to shut up for a while. That's all. That's all anyone ever requires of you. Right? You maybe don't post that. Maybe you read about someone else's experience. My biggest problem with BLM is white silence is violence. But to a certain extent, this is what I'm talking about here too. I want to lift it a little bit above, because what I think has become problematic is that our media is telling us that these protests are BLM protests, as if they are somehow arranged by some center, organization that everyone is, that's just not true. I mean, if you look in the USA, you have so many people protesting. Yes, sure of them. I mean, the kind of the catalyst was all of this again and again and again. Police violence on blacks. And that's what BLM is doing. That's their thing. If you want to start, White Lives Matter, I mean, and people have done that already, do it. Fine. The particular question here was police violence against blacks, right? And I believe that, as a white, we generally well-off white people, and most of us watching here, even though we are maybe not the richest in our country, we are pretty well off, and we have had a pretty good life, We have grown up in pretty good schools with all of this. And this is not to say that you should be happy about it, or can't feel depressed, or, need to put too much pressure on yourself, take it easy. But there's one thing you could do, and it's just a little bit of humility. maybe just a little bit. Maybe it's time that we just listen in. Sit back, and that we also denounce fascism when it comes, and say rather socialism than fascism. Right? And I know that might sound weird, but rather that I give a little bit more to the poor, and that we accept that we need to.
But we don't stand in front of that choice.
I think we do.
I believe that piratism is a perfectly valid
Oh yeah, I agree.
alternative to social.
Yeah. But I would say now I'm just saying that as a means of review, because I mean,
socialism, fascism with extra steps. Nah, I don't agree with your tech logic.
Well, let's not use the term socialism, but let's say like this: take some basic social tenets, right? And I mean, let's say piratism. Let's say piratism, right? What do we kind of mean with that? We want to have some form of equal society. Right? To a certain degree. And when you're having it too much of an unequal society, and where people are getting it worse, like, the reason why China has been so successful is not that, they have, it's not just the fact that they've opened up for trade and that they're printing money and they're doing the economical smart stuff and reinvesting in the country and in education and all of those things that any country should do, right? It's the fact that the poorest people always got it better. The Chinese Communist Party, I don't think China is communist at all. I think it's a dictatorship with a pure, neoliberal. Not really, but they are a dictatorship with
one-party democracy.
Yeah, there you go. With a lot of capitalism, baked inside it, controlled by the state. I mean, we're talking state capitalism, and we're talking about private capitalism that kind of co-functions in this space. But the fact is that the poor people have always gotten it better. And if you're gonna have any chance on keeping any country together, on keeping the human populace together, if we're gonna have a chance to unite and do bigger things, the most important thing is not that the rich get it better. The most important thing is that the poor get it better all of the time. And I'm saying the poor, I don't mean just the poor in the world, right? Because they have actually gotten it better a lot. But I don't say this on a global level. I mean it on a national level, and I mean it on a local level. Wherever we have policy and politics, it needs to be focused on every single decision should benefit the poorest of us. If it doesn't, it goes away. We don't have to focus on it. It's not important right now. I think that's it's so incredibly important. And to a certain extent, some would argue that's a socialist tenet. Right? But again, it really isn't. You can hear this from great libertarian thinkers. You can hear it from Keynesianists. You can hear it from so many. Most people are just broke. Who said that? That's so funny. Poor is a state of mind. Most people are just broke. It's my mom always told me that it's to have a lot of money that's important, and that it's not love of wait, what? Shit, I can't see. There's some fucking. Here we go. My mom told me that it's the love of a home that's important, and love in your life, not the money. Yes. Some poor people have better off poor than with too much money. I completely agree. And I mean, this is now, if we're going to go into socialism, is the point that our chase after yet the next thing, the whole capitalistic rotation, of more and more productivity, of more and more things, of more and more and more of everything, that's a problem in and to itself. And that we have been mentally primed for this way of thinking for so long that we no longer know what it means to be alive. Right? What it means to care for each other. not just care for that I'm going to have a bigger house. You know, what it means to be a part of a community and what it really means to be alive. And this is a core tenet of socialism, right? If you want to understand it from its roots. Now, and that's where it's different from capitalism, where in capitalism, profit is central, right?
Yeah.
And where for socialism, people are essential, right?
Yeah.
This is the fundamental difference. Now, and with that being said, this is the utopia, right? This is the socialist country. It's never been achieved. As little as pure capitalism has never been achieved, it turns into complete fucking anarchy and someone takes all of the power and you have a dictatorship. And then you have a government anyway, right?
Yeah.
Libertarianism doesn't work, right? So I just want to be kind of clear on that. What I mean with poor being better off, poor is people, for instance, with huge problems in their societal life, where they have social life. Jesus Christ, fucking taco. Where if they had money, they would probably just getting even bigger problem.
I've seen those kind of people, but the money is not the issue here. Is that I mean, for an example, there was a guy on Gotland in Sweden who won like, what was it? Was it 150 millions or something like that? About $15 million. He was super depressed after just a few years because he's lost all of his friends because they felt entitled to a part of his money.
Mm.
So I mean, people think that, oh, if I just had a pile of money, all my problems would be solved. No, they wouldn't. You would have completely other problems.
Whoa, you're number 2 now? Congrats, guys. This is my old World of Warcraft Classic Guild.
What do you mean? I was there too.
Yeah, you were there. We're both there.
Screw you.
Should we go back? Slussler is saying number 2 guild on Tenstorm looking for best rogue comeback. That's such a lie, though. I was horrible. I'm not a very good rogue. Always lost in every fucking meter.
My priest is still,
I really tried. I don't know how. I don't know how.
59.
What? I don't know how NS did it. God damn, he's cheating. They have some fucking cheats out on shit bullshit. Whatever. Yeah, I'm up for playing some World of Warcraft sooner or later, when I can contain my playing to something that it doesn't take up my whole life. But yeah, sorry about that.
Slasla can boost me from 59 to 60, please, senpai.
59 to 60. Oh yeah, we can. You're 59.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Well, then we should make a comeback. You need a healer too, probably. Yeah, they need a healer always.
I raced as a madman there at the end. Don't you remember?
Yeah, you did, dude.
He was like always, oh, fishing.
Yeah.
Oh, fishing. I was like, you're boring to listen to.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, well, yeah, we should make a big comeback, actually. What do you say, Otto? Have when are you raiding these days, then, Slasler? This is the messy thing, because it's gonna be on a shit day and a shit time. This is, by the way, news here.
Yeah,
European
so I don't know why we're talking on the stream about this. We should we should have ended 12 minutes anyway.
Yeah, we should have ended 12 minutes.
So just like always, take care in the cyberspace, our little bots, and really good talk today. The chat was very active. We had a random guest from Armenia who gave us a great story. We've been talking about a bit of America, a bit about China, Japan, Ming Dynasty. We have been all over the place.
We've been all over, but it's been so good. Thanks particularly to Bislord, of course, who came in and schooled us. And, you know, obviously, all of you can do that. Don't be afraid. Hang out in our Discord. Join us on Twitch primarily. Follow us there, because that's where you will see all of our shows. We won't necessarily send everything to other places. Yeah, donate so that we can make a remix of Otto's cringe rap. Otto used to be a rap star.
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
15 years ago, I recorded a song. a few songs, but we have played one here in Pirate-TV, and whenever we reach the next donation goal, we will, together with the real rap star Getty Gets, we will recreate this epic song.
Yeah, it's fucking epic, actually.
I feel like Tenacious D.
Yeah, you're a little bit.
Greatest song in the world. Wow.
Yeah, it's epically cringe, so it's gonna be fun to kind of try to recreate it.
Anyways, Christian will talk to you very soon again.
For you who want to continue on in Swedish, I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and I actually think we will go into waiting mode, and we will just run straight off from here, because I realize now we've been going off the time so much that I don't want to wait any longer. So we'll be back in maybe just a couple of minutes, and we will run our next segment, which is going to be in Swedish and about Arbetsförmedlingen. I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.
Kuken ute. Nej, stoppa in den igen, Miss Midget, är du snäll.